Okay, so here's where I'm at with this differential here. So I went ahead and pulled the other end of the axle off this thing here. The reason why I did that is because the end on that drive shaft there, the end that goes to the transfer case, is a little it's a little messed up. The little rubber boot in there's kind of worn out, and then also we kind of messed with it when we took it out, so it's a little. So I'm just gonna grab a new one, or not a new one, but another one from another Explorer tomorrow. But these little bolts here are actually a little, I believe it's a T27, or T20. I smell piss. T27 little Torx bit. Use a little baby wrench. It takes them out. They're actually not in that, and not stuck in there. And I didn't even use any PB blaster. Anyways, the other end uses a weird. Uses like an E socket or whatever. Apparently I'm missing all of these. I only have one of the 4 that I should have. I got all of these, but I'm missing 2 washers. And then the bolts that go in here, I kept all the hardware. I put it away, but somehow it ended up getting missing. So this lower bolt here is the proper one I need. It doesn't have a shank on it, so it'll go down into the hole all the way. These other 2 that are these are the only 3 that I have that will fit these threads. These 2 randomly have a shank and is too long and will not go down into that hole all the way. So check this out. And I have no idea where the bolts are for this, so I'm going to have to steal 2 of these for that. And then just get some large washers to go over the bushings, and then I just need the bolts for the other end of the drive shaft. The drive shaft we'll get, and then I also have to get a vacuum fitting. The other one was kind of fucked up, so we'll get a new vacuum fitting for the axle disconnect, and then we'll head over to O'Reilly's and pick up our new CV shafts. I think one of these days we're gonna upgrade the jack stands to bigger ones. Bigger, wider, taller ones. Oh man, I just hit my shoulder in that door. So I gotta lift it up pretty high. Got the emergency brake on. And we got lots of room to get under here. Basically what I'll be working on is adjust those shift bands I've been talking about. And we're gonna do the brown wire mod. I'm gonna get on there and locate the brown wire, and I will show you. Oh, son of a bitch. Okay. This is going to be kind of a pain in the ass. So here you have your transfer case. Here's your wiring and your speed sensor. This is your transfer case speed sensor, which I have a feeling this one needs to get replaced. Oh yeah, we got a seal here that's leaking. That's nice. Let's see. So right here, that wire going right into the transfer case has a little rubber grommet. That right there is your brown wire. It comes right here to your harness. So what we'll do is I'll locate this wire. I'm going to disconnect the harness, locate the wire, and then pop it out of the connector, and then that way it'll be by itself. And then what we'll do is we'll crimp on a connector to it, and then we'll run a wire. This is hard to do. Run a wire up to this little panel. You see the black foam on it? That panel there, that's just an access cover for if you put a manual transmission in it, you can put a shifter there. It's just held in with 4 screws. We'll go up through the top, we'll cut a hole in the carpet, and then we'll run a little wire through there. And I randomly have to
use the bathroom like a gentleman.
Anyways, that's your brown wire. So I've got the brown wire isolated here. So basically, just remember it goes in the upper pinhole, not the one down below it. What you do, get yourself a pair of needle nose pliers, you pop this out. This just keeps the other wires from coming out. And then get in with a pocket screwdriver. Just pop the little clip back. There's a tiny little pin in there. Let's see if I can show you. There's little plastic clips holding those in. You just back them off a little bit, and while you're doing that, pull the pin out. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is run 12 volts to this, and I just run a thick ground wire and just put it in a hole somewhere. And so right now I can turn this freely, and then when I run 12 volts to that, it should lock the clutch, and this will become one with this drive shaft. I pointed at the exhaust. Since it's in park, it's not going to be able to move, so if I turn this, it will lock it for good. So I just hooked up 12 volts to the brown wire, and it is verified it does lock the clutch. So I got the right wire. And now what I'm going to go ahead and do is, since I have this awesome wire here already set up to go to the battery, just pending a connector to go to the actual terminal, I'm going to go ahead and snip it from the back, which is where it runs to, and I'll run it underneath the frame, on top of the frame, and it'll go over a heat shield and then over to the transfer case, and that is where it will be soldered together. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. This wire here is going to come up right around here, go over a heat shield, and then it's going to go up to our little access panel up inside, where it will be hooked up to a switch, which I already have conveniently, and then we'll take this excess, and then it'll run back down to our brown wire. It'll run from the switch down to the brown wire, and then it's already switchable. Now I don't have to do a ground because this whole engine, transmission, and transfer case are all connected to the chassis, so obviously there's going to be a pretty good ground going to it, because I just hooked my ground to the frame of the truck, and she lit right up. So here's my toggle switch. It might actually be a little too big. I don't know. If I have to, I can always just put it in here, but I might get a smaller switch. We'll see if this fits in there. I don't think it will. Anyways, this is a switch. This was going to a air valve in the back, but since I'm not really running air right anymore, I don't need the switch. This was just to separate the front from the back. Go ahead and snip those. I'm actually gonna grab my wire cutters, and we'll just snip that back. It's not hooked up to anything anymore, so I don't have to worry about it. Alright, you don't have to do what I'm doing, but I'm doing it this way. I'm taking my passenger seat out. You have plenty of room. You could actually just cut this out some more and then run your wire down there. But I'm taking the seat out so I can get that garbage out of there. It's just easier to do it that way. It's not that hard to take the seat out. You just have one connector in the back, and there are 4 bolts to hold the seat down. Sorry for the poor lighting. I have to invest in some lights, but it's a I think it was a 13. It's a 13. And then there's also a big bolt that holds the seat belt in, and that is a T50, Torx 50. And that thing is in pretty good, especially because it gets rust on the end of the bolt because it sticks through the other side. Anyways, I'm going to take the seat out, and I'm going to cut a hole in the carpet with a razor blade, really sharp one, and then I'll run a wire up through the floor. I'm going to drill a little hole. I really don't want to do it, but I'll pop a little hole through there, a little tiny hole to run a piece of wire through, seal up with some RTV, and then we won't get any leaks, and that'll be our power wire coming up to the floor, and then we'll run another. We'll actually run 2 wires, one to come up to our switch, and then one to go back down to our transfer case. Look at all this. We got O'Reilly seat receipts. We got something here. It looks freaking old. What the hell is this for? Holy shit, this is from 2010. Oh, this is when I did the instrument cluster lights. Jesus. Yeah. Here's all kinds of garbage. Panda Express receipts. That's been there for years. Okay, I need to find a vacuum. I hate squeezing through there. Alright, so our main lead is hooked back up to the battery. See, ain't entirely pretty, but flip that. In theory, sends power to our clutch. Check that out. Locked. So we'll make sure that we turn that off. Transfer case clutch is disengaged. Brown wire mod successful. The only thing is, we gotta, hopefully the computer doesn't freak out and start flashing and shit. So, other than that, that's kind of how the brown wire mod works. And this cat really wants to go inside. Alright, so I'm gonna shut that light off over there, shut the other one off here, and then tomorrow we're gonna go pick up our needed parts. And we'll be rocking and rolling with 4-wheel drive. That works.